starting. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to News Barn. I'm Major Random.
And I am Colonel Crazy. Ah.
Dude, put that down here. Look how freaking more.
Man, it's awesome. This is my sword, dude.
Well, as you can see, we got a wooden background now. We decided to actually go more with the barn thing.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of junk in the garage, but hey, it's cool. Don't judge, you know. Many great things, again, happen in the garage, like storing heads and playing with chemicals and playing with power tools and losing your thumb. That always happens. All kinds of shit. I'm sure you can think of much more.
Hey, don't diss about junk. I like me some junk in the trunk.
There you go. Don't we all, Daniel?
Anyway, let's start on our topic. So today we're gonna go with probably one topic. So as you know, we've been having a big thing lately in the news with police officers being caught on cell cams or even
cops being caught
doing dumb things.
Have you caught a cop recently?
If you have, you should report it because it's, you know, it's law and they're committing a crime. But anyway, yeah, actually, sucks. You know, they actually can't. So we've recently seen a lot of these cop videos, cops misbehaving, cops doing things that are very questionable. I think the first big one that comes to mind was the Scott Walker case in South Carolina, where you had a guy who was
running away.
Yeah,
he was running away. He actually owed child support. Well, let's start. He was pulled over.
Right.
And
for a
all
broken
of a sudden,
for a broken taillight.
For a broken taillight.
How many times have you heard that? Fucking broken taillight.
A broken taillight. He ran away. Okay, stupid. Got to catch the guy.
The cop tases him at first.
You got to tase him. Sure, that is absolutely justified. But then the guy gets away.
Yeah.
And this police officer basically decides to murder him.
Use lethal force.
Oh, murder him. It's not even. He just decided that he it seems out of
laziness,
spite. No, I'd say out of total spite. I mean, he was genuinely pissed. I think this guy just got away from me.
Yeah, this guy's
fuck you. And he shot him, and he's being charged with murder right now.
Well, what really got this thing going is, I hate to say this, but and I have to have had cop run, but a lot of bad cops get away with doing stuff or things that are wrong because there's no witnesses or no evidence, and this is where video cameras come into play. The film was shot by someone using their smartphone, and you can clearly see, you know, the guy running away. Cop pulls out the gun. Guy fires 8 shots. 4 of them hit him in the back, and the fifth one pierces his heart.
It was pretty fucked up. And you know, it's been an ongoing issue with catching police with cameras. And what's been another issue is when people approach the police when they're encountering somebody on their job. They've often, you can search anything on YouTube, they've often been pissed at the guy filming them.
Yes.
And they've had to say, this is my right, and I am on public property, and I am not impeding on your job. I am not obstructing justice here. I have a right to film you.
And speaking of which, I saw that recently.
It's public accountability.
There was here's to talk about like Inception style filming. You had a woman filming another woman filming some police officer. They were in tactical gear. And you see her, you can't see what she's saying because it's too far away. You can see her mouth moving. And you see this U.S. Marshal come very tightly in there, just try to rip it out of her, rips her phone out of her hand. She struggles in for a minute. He takes it and throws her phone on the ground and breaks it. Caught on camera. I'm like, that's very unprofessional.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, there's a lot of issues now. They want to put body cameras. They're fighting to put body cameras. I think body cameras are an awesome idea. Why it's not been completely implemented is beyond me.
I hate to say it, but I like the fact that police officers do protect and serve, but there is a very clan mentality. They're like,
oh yeah,
And the problem.
And by the way, that's fucking stupid. You don't, as a police officer, you are entrusted with administering justice. You don't have. This is not a brotherhood.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened. I was watching this other story, and this guy talked about how there was this police officer speeding, fucking 50 miles over the limit, and another policeman pulled him over, and all the policemen in that department got on the policeman that pulled that policeman over to give him a ticket because they're like, oh, you don't do that. That's not part of the brotherhood. I'm like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, speaking of things that have happened, there's only that. There's only the Scott Walker, which going back to things that bad things on here. Not only did he shoot the guy, but he cuffs him, and he makes it sound like he's trying to read him his rights, despite the fact.
Oh, you're talking about the one in Oklahoma.
Yeah, also the one in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, where the old man. Now that's a very interesting.
He's a volunteer.
What's very weird about that one is, I mean, number one, there's an old man on. This whole thing got very. Well, yeah, he was a volunteer, and I just don't think it's proper you put volunteers on such a stressful and dangerous job like he was on. They were going to arrest a man for selling guns. Illegally. I don't believe selling weapons
the guy didn't
illegal.
One of the sad part is when the guy went to go grab his taser, he accidentally shot the guy.
No, he says he pulled his taser out, and then he says he thought he was actually his gun.
And he shot him.
But what was also weird is, like, he
said... the leg.
Shot him, it wasn't a leg, he killed him.
No, he didn't die right away. He was shot in the leg.
And he bled out.
Yeah, the problem what happened is, I saw the video. The guy, even the guy who shot him, was like, oh crap, I shot him. He actually had a legitimate, like...
Well, it was kind of weird, that whole thing, because it was like, I shot you, oh, I'm sorry. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, but...
There could have been intention.
Right, but here's the big problem. It
may have been a complete accident.
The guy actually... Yeah, it was an accident. The guy was...
It may have been. We don't know. He's being charged.
No, they had a body camera. They had it all done on body camera.
I know. He claims it was an accident, but we really never know. But he is being charged with manslaughter, which is... They're saying he was reckless.
Right.
How do you grab your taser and not grab... And really, how do you grab your taser and you accidentally grab your gun? You're on this very highly responsible job. And it's like, how the hell does that happen?
Well, the other thing that was fucked up is the actual cops on duty. The guy actually was saying, "Hey, I'm bleeding out," and they told him, "Shut up, shut your fucking mouth." And the guys, they were actually on him.
Oh, yeah, you just shot a man.
And they're basically.
I have heard arguments from police where they're handling a person and they often make up lies and say, "I can't breathe" and shit, in order to get an advantage to get you.
But the guy was.
I hear that point, but you just shot a guy. No, you just shot a guy.
And he's in cuffs.
He has a total reason to get help immediately. I mean, it's pretty bad. I see their point in other cases where it's like, but I mean that's up to the officer. I mean, when you're doing something like if you are really choking someone, then yes, them saying. If I've seen on cops, they have a guy up against the cars, and he's like, "I can't breathe." I'm like, "Okay, that's not true. You're up against a car. You're not. Your neck is not constricted or anything."
It could be that they're claustrophobic. I mean, your neck's not constricted if you're pressed too hard.
But I see the police. I see the officer's point. They can't handle that. I mean, their job is they're taking you off the street. I get that. But when this case, a man shot, you shot him.
And he says, "Fuck your breath" to the guy who's basically...
Yeah, these people are pretty fucked up. And what's also fucked up is the sheriff's department lied. A lot of people maybe don't know that, is that this volunteer claimed he had all this training to take this responsible job.
Right.
And they found out the sheriff's department falsified the whole thing. Oh. He had to have a certain number of amount of training, and they falsified the whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
So that's insane. I mean, and I do believe there is a lot of people would ask, is there a culture of, unfortunately, a lot of corruption in a lot of major cities? I think so, and you'd ask why. What's a big reason? It's because recently I was reading an article, and a bunch of departments, city department unions reject body cameras.
Yeah.
Now, if you reject a body camera... If I was working in your home and you wanted to put up a hidden camera and I said, no, what do you think I'm doing? You think I'm doing something great? No, I'm not. I'm doing something illegal. and I'm afraid to get caught. I mean, anyone can make that logical conclusion.
Oh yeah, a lot of these guys know that some guys know they do some messed up stuff, and they don't want to. They don't want to basically be brought. Say, hey, look, this is what you've done. You've done something wrong. What's this? What's this that you've done?
Well, what's stupid is the union was giving really stupid reasons. They were like, well, why can't we have body cameras? Like, well, it might obstruct the officer's job because he'll have to push on a button. I'm like, what? How does going like that, getting out of the car to begin your interaction?
I mean, when
you itch your face, you can say that's for distracting you from your job.
Or hell, most officers have a little radio.
Or your radio. Yeah, it's like
stupid. Hell, the button can be right next to the radio. So they press the button. It's somewhere they normally.
And then one other guy was on Fox News was like, oh.
Fox News.
Well, it was a policeman they had on, or an ex-policeman or something, and he was like, oh, what if the camera catches, like, women who are naked? I'm like, but all this footage, it would be uploaded onto a computer.
A server.
And it's not, like, going to be aired that night on TV for everyone to see.
Right.
A naked woman, not everyone's going to look at that. I mean, that's going to be private to the authorities.
Right, of course.
I mean, it was just another stupid thing. I can't... I'm sorry, hearing all this, I can't conclude anything else but the police have some serious problems.
Yeah.
In a lot of major departments. This was Miami-Dade, Cleveland, and New York, of course.
New York.
New York.
Fucking center of the universe, New York.
New York, yeah. They don't like the New York union, police union doesn't want body cameras. Cleveland doesn't want body cameras in Miami. These are major cities where many people fucking live. You know?
Yeah, it's sad.
That is sad. I have to say that if anyone's going to make an argument, that one sure as hell is compelling, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with body cameras, you prevent...
It's for good policemen, too.
And what if something goes wrong and you have... They don't think about the turnaround. What if a guy shoots himself and claims the cop shot him, and then with the other cameras say, no, I have proof. Or
I'm sure there's many policemen out there who agree with that. I doubt.
It would show that they're doing their job. And hell, especially if a good policeman who's basically who's doing his job very well, they can grab that footage and say, hey, this is what a good policeman should be doing.
Well, they should have a new way to hire new police officers. Hey, do you want a body camera? Police officer says no. Hey, you're fired. The ones who say, yeah, give me one. Okay.
No, you don't fire them. You can't, because you put them on desk jobs.
Desk jobs. Oh, I don't know if they're going to be. You don't want any corruption anywhere.
You can't fire. By the way,
these men.
You can't fire. By the way, just in California, you can't fire anybody by just saying.
Union protection?
No, it's by law. Law says you have to have like a long set of reasons before you can fire someone. I'm not joking.
For any employer or just as government?
Government, largely.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, that's out of control government.
Well, cops are government.
No, I know, but that's out of control government that you would need a mass amount of reasons to get someone fired.
Well, it's also protect, because sometimes you have those, you sometimes have bosses who don't like you. It's to protect those who are being harassed.
But it doesn't seem to be doing. I mean, if you're talking about that.
But keep in mind.
Well, there's been issues in schools with teachers and police that they've often done really dumb shit. And they've like in New York, it's horrible. Like there's this teacher that allegedly, I don't know how you allegedly have sex with one of your students.
We should talk
allegedly, and then they're put in a timeout box.
By the way, that's for another time. You should that for another episode. We talked about how many fucking teachers are banging.
I find that fucked up, and people should know about that. Police can't be fired because you do work for the city. You know this. Major Rand knows this.
I work for a major metropolitan city.
He does.
I'm not in police. I work in something else.
Well, this is something for voters to know, that their public servants can't be fired for fucking anything.
Oh, no. They can be fired, but there has to be...
I'm sorry. For a policeman, if you do anything...
Once you're bastard...
Even outside I mean, these men have guns. I understand maybe working at the park or something, okay, fine. I mean, it's not going to break too many souls. It's another conversation. It's neither here nor there. But you're a policeman... You're with a gun. You have the power to arrest. You have so many resources at your disposal. the slightest thing, you need to go.
Right.
For that job. I mean, you're a peace officer.
Yeah.
You've taken an oath, and you do. I mean, you have to have the most amount of accountability with police and fire. I mean, they're holding a lot of responsibility.
A lot of lives.
A lot of lives. I understand the guy at the park or something, you know, not doing anything, you know, maybe he needs, it's neither here nor there with me, but with police, I don't know who would disagree that with that job, you have to, like, have the highest scrutiny.
Yes. I think that's it for now. I think
we've totally exhausted.
All right, so.
All
right, so. Usual spiel. Please support us by liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below. We don't care, but we do like. Talk about other things later, man. All right.
We have one more topic to talk about.
But we will talk about that on our next segment. So, this has been Major Random.
Colonel Crazy.
And we'll see you guys next time in the next episode.
When we bust out of our Mexican prison here. We're
All
really in prison right here. We've been locked up in a Mexican prison.
Cartels.
We've been put in a box. We're being shipped off with the Ark of the Covenant behind us here.
All right. That should be the beginning of our next episode.
There you go.
All right. See ya.
Love you.